Hey, the Racer is back with another video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel to help my channel grow. Your support, as always, is greatly appreciated. All right, family, we got to talk about this LA Sparks loss, right? Fever loss, 89 to 87. Let's talk about it. Well, so much for that that narrative that the Fever are better without Caitlin Clark. That's dead. R.I.P. Rest in peace. The Fever went to bed again in the fourth quarter. And I got to tip my hat to the LA Sparks, right? Also, they coach, Lynn Roberts. She did a great job, right? She came in, they were prepared when they went into the half only down by 3 points. I'm pretty sure they were feeling pretty good because they were on the road. And anytime you can, be within striking distance on the road, you're in good position to win the game, right? That's all you can ask for. And then when they went into the fourth quarter by 1, I'm pretty sure they feel really good about their chances because they know that the Fever have a hard time closing out games because they seen that for themselves. So they went ahead and did the do and pulled out the victory. And I'm gonna tell you this story about what happened to me when I was in high school. So you can kind of understand, this whole thing with the Fever, right? When I was in high school, I ran track, right? I was one of the best in the county, right? And there was this guy by the name of Jose Tony Perilla. He was the best in the country. He ran 800 meters, ran a 148. Dude was bad. And he probably could run a 45 quarter, 45, 44 maybe. He was as fast as that little dude that made it to the Olympics or in the 4x1. He was that guy, right? Well, anyway, so in this particular race, we ran third leg. I know we ran first leg, but this particular race, the coach had me run third leg. So I knew I was running against Tony Perilla. So I figured, that I had to change up a race a little bit in order to make sure that I kept him off me because I've seen him run down people before. And I'm like, I gotta, try to hold him off and try to maintain, whatever position that we were in at that time, right? As opposed to just trying to run my race. So anyway, race starts. My man come around here, he come off the turn. He's in second place. I'm like, okay, we feeling good. I see his man come off the turn. They in fourth, they like in fifth or sixth place. Oh, their decks are playing with his toy. They were like in fifth or sixth place, right? So I'm thinking in my mind, okay, I shoot out. I can hold him off, at the end, right? So I get the baton. Pew! I'm running that thing like I'm running 100 meters. First mistake. So I'm running. Got to the 200. Didn't hear him, didn't see him. All right, 200 meters in. Got round about to the 150, about 150 meters. From the finish line, right there in the middle of the corner. Right there in the middle. And people that ran track know what I'm talking about. So I'm like, all right, then I heard the crowd. Everybody stood up. I'm like, uh-oh. Then I started singing, and they started singing a song, right? Actually, they started singing the song about a couple seconds before that. I heard them start singing. And I'm like, oh, man, because every time he runs somebody down, they started singing. And I forgot the name. I was singing for you, but I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember it. But anyway, so so I'm hearing the song. And now I'm hearing the steps. Now, once I hear the steps, I start pressing. Start trying to go outside myself. Start pushing. Start trying to run faster, but I'm not moving faster. Now I'm in quicksand, right? Monkey jump on my back, right? About 100 meters to go, right? Or a little less than 100 meters, right? tap, 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 tap. I'm hearing them. I'm like, oh crap. So I'm coming. Ah, ah, ah. Felt the breeze. Went right past me. Went right past me. I was like, oh man. Well, the next thing you know, another dude went right past me. Then another, right? I done had three people pass me. And that didn't happen like regularly. It went, everybody knew once I got a baton, whatever position I was in, I'm pretty much gonna hold it down. That's how it was. I was running like 40, 49, 58 split, 48 splits. Every now and again I run like a 50. You know what I mean? Every now and again I ran a 48. But most of the time I'm right there, right there, 49, 49, 5, 49, whatever it is that coach told me. So I'm gonna say so I say all that to say this, you know what I mean? Is that we end up getting like my man came back, he put us like in fourth, so he was able to run down one guy, right? So we went for second, being the second to being the fifth, my man catching my man, and on our last anchor, we ended up being in fourth. But I say all that to say this: that when you hear the footsteps, when I heard the footsteps, I should have stayed. I should have remained calm and carried on. Even if he had ran me down, I would have been in. I said I would have brought the baton around in third and not fifth. Right? Me getting nervous and pressing and pushing only made me do worse, right? As opposed to just running my race. And that's what happened, with the fever, right? They started pushing, they started pressing, right? Because they heard them footsteps, right? And they've been hearing footsteps all year. They heard the footsteps in the fourth quarter when they played against the Sparks before, and they ended up losing that game. They heard the footsteps when they played against the Sparks tonight or last night, and they lost that game, right? And the thing is that when you play bottom dwellers, you got to take away their belief that they can beat you. And if you don't do that, and just like anybody knows, and if you read any motivational literature, that the first thing you got to do is be able to believe that you can do it before you can do anything. Right? If you don't believe that you can do it, you're not gonna be able to do it. You got to believe that you can in order for you to be able to do it. Right? Um, no matter how talented you are. I've seen people on YouTube that are super talented, but they don't get they don't get a whole bunch of views or they don't have a bunch of subscribers, but they're talented. You know what I mean? I'm like, hopefully they catch some. And a lot of times, the talented people will. Sometimes they never catch. You know what I mean? And then I see some people that are not that talented, but they got 1 million subscribers. They got 100,000, 240,000, 50,000. You know what I mean? Because they put in the work and they believe. If you put in the work and you believe, you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish in life. You know what I mean? Message. So I want to get back to talking about this game, and thank you for listening to my story. Um, Sparks took control of the game. In the third quarter, they scored 28 points, while the Fever only scored 24. Normally, in the past couple of games, the Fever were doing a heck of a job, defensively, especially in the fourth quarter, right? They were doing a heck of a job. They held, I believe the Las Vegas Aces to only, 7 points in the fourth quarter. And they held the Lynx to I think like 10 or something like that in the fourth. So they were doing their thing, right? I'm pretty sure that at some point, but they were not able to hold the Sparks to like 10 points or less, right? That's because they heard footsteps. Yeah, they were in a blowout. They had blew them out. The other teams, they gave up, game over, for whatever reason. They like, we'll just go ahead and worry about the next battle. Let's save our people, stop, keep anybody from getting like any, serious injuries because, we're not going to win the game, right? So they went ahead and I think the Minnesota Lynx, they gave up like What? No, it wasn't the Lynx. It was the Las Vegas Aces. They gave up with like 6 minutes left to go in the game. They sat down everybody. They were done. Becky Hammond's like, man, my people ain't got it. Y'all sit your ass down. But anyway, um, Fever can close out the blowouts, right? But when the games get tight, they went to bed. Their record is 2-7 in games that's within, you know, 2 possessions, right? And if they manage to win those games or beat the bottom dwellers, like the Mystics, like the Sparks, like the Connecticut Suns, they would be 11-7. And if they were 11-7, that will put them in fourth place with the Storm and the Dream, 1 game behind the Phoenix Mercury, and a game and a half behind the New York Liberty, who's in second place. They'd be in great position, right, to get home court in the first round of the playoffs. So, they missing out on a great opportunity, right? They got to get it together, right? But I understand Caitlin Clark is hurt, so that makes it a little bit difficult, for them to, win games. You know what I mean? Caitlin is that. You know what I mean? And Caitlin, she likes the big stage, and she can play under pressure, for the most part. And not saying that the Fever can't play under pressure, but well, it's looking like they can't. But that's besides the point. Let's take a look at some of these stats, right? All right, stats. Let's pull them up. All right, so field goal percentage, Sparks 49%, Fever 48%. They both did well. Fever didn't do great on defense. They held Las Vegas Aces to 26%. They held the Lynx to 34%. Sparks got 49%, right? So their defense sucked. 3-pointers, Sparks shot 10 for 22 for 45%. Fever 7 for 22 for 35. Free throw disparity. Okay. It was only 4, right? So I'm good with that. But they only shot like 62%, right? So that's not good. Got to be able to hit free throws in order to win close games. And that all goes to, once again, them wetting the bed when the games are tight. And then when they were blowing those teams out, they were knocking down those free throws at 80-something%, 80-something, not 80, 80-something%. But when them games tight, they shooting in the 60s. They got to tighten up, right? Let's see. Both teams had 22 assists. That's good. They both play team ball. Turnovers, 8-10. But the Fever got most of their turnovers in the second half when the game got tight. When the game got tight. Points in the paint, 42-46. They both did great, right? Fever had 46 points in the paint. Largest lead by the Fever was 8, Sparks 3, right? When they got into the fourth quarter, nobody can get away from each other. It was a slugfest. Individual stats, Kelsey Plum, 20 points and 3 assists. She did great. You know what I mean? She did what she do. She shot 50%. She was 4 for 8 from 3-pointers. Player of the game, Azure Stevens, she was 21, 21 points, and she had 12 rebounds, and she was 3 for 7 for 3-point range. She did good. Kia Jackson, she was 15 points, and she had 5 assists. Derek Hamby, she had 18 points and 4 assists. And I think Derica is going to get snubbed for the All-Stars, but she said she's having a decent season. Pretty good season, right? Fever Girls, Natasha Howard, 21 points and 9 boards. She did good. She did. She had 4 turnovers, though, and she had a couple of dumb fouls. And, crunch time. Lil Boston, 23 points and 12 rebounds. She dominated, you know what I mean, but still got the L, Castle Mitchell, 19 points, zero rebounds, and 0 assists. She did okay with the points, but she didn't contribute any other way, right? Stephanie White said she want her guards to get 5 rebounds. Well, her guard got 0, right? And 0 assists. So going forward, I believe the Fever, they're going to have problems when they play the bottom dwellers, regardless of what their record is, because they beat the Fever and now they believe, right? And with bottom dwellers, you got to take away their hope. You know what I mean? If a team is sorry, you can't let them win, man. You can't let them do it. You can't let them do it, right? And there's a reason why they bottom dwellers, right? They bottom dwellers because they make a lot of mistakes. They do. They take bad shots. They turn the ball over. They take bad shots, right? And when you're playing against bad teams, I said you got to maintain your decorum and you got to maintain your discipline, and your fundamentals. And you got to stay in, just stay in front of them, right? Put your hands up, stay in front of them on defense. Put your hands up, block out, focus on that, take good shots, and eventually they're gonna find a way to lose. That's what sorry teams do. But if you start wetting the bed, right, and they see you wetting the bed, they smell blood, you know what I mean? Then you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna end up losing that game. And I think that's what happened to the Fever. They gotta stop wetting the bed, right? Anyway, friendly reminder at noon today. The coaches choose the All-Star reserves. By the time you see this video, more than likely that would have already been done. I'll do my mock on who Napheesa and Kayla would choose. I'll post that later tonight, right? So family, I said what I said, and I love my Fever. I love my Fever. Hopefully they get it together. I believe they will, especially when Caitlin get back, and I stand on it. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. One love.